Hello, ladies and gents. It's been a while, and a lot has changed since the last time I saw you guys. I'm not recording videos with my phone anymore, at least for audio's sake, so I'm really happy about that. But I just put together some Pro Junior like Mojotone conversion kits that I'm really excited about, and very grateful that I can be a part of the Mojotone family now. Thank you guys very much. But we've slowly been playing some more indoor shows as of lately, which means I can't. Well, I mean, I have in the past, but it's a little overkill when you're showing up to a room with a super reverb or a basement. So I got a couple of Pro Juniors to, you know, play together for indoor venues because I'm still very adamant about needing two speakers. I love that kind of natural chorus that happens when you're playing through more than one speaker. And, for the longest time I was obsessed with playing through 10s, which, the Pro Juniors come with. They come with the Jensen PR10s, which are fabulous speakers. But it just wasn't throwing enough. And I toyed with the idea of just putting some higher wattage 10s in there, but there's a lot of modifications that come along with throwing a bigger, although it's still a 10-inch speaker, maybe the magnet for like a bigger size Alnico can't fit in a normal Pro Junior cab. So I reached out to Mojotone, see if they could help me out, and they were very gracious to do so. So I put a 75 watt 8-ohm Creamback in one of them, a ceramic speaker, and then I put a 90 watt Cream Alnico 8-ohm speaker in one of them, and it's just phenomenal. What I do is I use the Creamback, the ceramic speaker, to get all the gain out of one of them, and that speaker I've noticed has a lot more natural mid-range in it. And then I use the Alnico speaker reeled back a little bit to give it a lot more clarity. So it just creates this very well-rounded tone. I've been weaning myself off of reverb in recent months, and I'm having a lot of fun just playing with kind of a slapback tone, very brief or very minimal kind of effect. I use a Mad Professor Deep Blue delay, very much to the Matt Schofield setting. So it's just one repeat and very subtle, not too loud. And I only have the slapback coming through the ceramic speaker, the one that's cranked. So the cleaner, I wouldn't say it's totally clean, but the cleaner Alnico Pro Junior, I just have dry, and then the slapback coming through the ceramic speaker. And it sounds a little like this. I'm using a 57, a normal 57 on the Alnico, and a beta 57 on the ceramic, both just dangling in front of the speaker. I own little amp mic stands, but I just prefer the sound of dangling it in front. It kind of gives it more of a lively sound, takes off a little bit more top end, and then I use the beta for the ceramic one since it's a little darker sounding, just to introduce a little bit more top end, and it's a lot more lively. I believe it's a super cardioid. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but as soon as I started using a beta 58 for my vocal, I'm just totally hooked on betas. But anywho, I'm using one of each just to give it more depth, just so it's not an identical mic on both amplifiers. But anywho, I'm using my trusty old Strat Shelly today, which is actually the last time, or not the last time, but she's going to be getting retired for a while. Very stoked. I'm receiving my Warmouth body soon, which I'll make another video for, which will be a thin line hardtail Strat. Very excited about. I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, that'll be another video in the future. Right now, from the last video, I did take out the 500K pots. Was digging it, but just it was a little too punchy. So I threw in a RS Guitarworks modern Strat wiring kit in here, along with still the Yosemite pickups, backbone that I'll also be throwing on my hardtail. I've got a normal one here for a hardtail, and I'm also going to be throwing in this guy on the hardtail, an Alembic Stratoblaster little preamp, which typically I don't feel like I really need. It's just there's moments where because I crank my amps first and foremost. Pedals are cool, and there's always a time and place for them, but I just prefer the natural breakup and compression coming from an amp versus pedal compression or pedal gain. They're both cool, but they're just different. And occasionally there are times, as I've mentioned before, I typically run through like a 50 or 100-foot cable because we play big outdoor venues typically, or even indoors for that matter, but I like walking around. It's very, a tip of the hat to the Albert Collins thing where, you walk up to the bar and order a drink or whatever, so have you. It's just a stage antic, I guess. And there's times where, I'm already flat out on 10 and I need a little bit, extra, like a little, push over the cliff, as Nigel Tufnell said. But, adding that Stratoblaster, it'll just be those rare moments where I just need a little help. It's kind of like a cheat mode, as you will. Just give a little bit more compression, make it feel a little easier under the fingers and a little bit more just big sounding. But anywho, I'm going to shut up and start playing for you. Typically, if I'm playing a clean sound, I would have my guitar volume around like 5 or 5.5, so that's what this sounds like, neck pickup. Sorry, I said neck pickup, but then I moseyed on over to position 4. Typically, I'm using these Anatomy of Sound heartbeat picks. These just so happen to be the ones with my name on it, and Jennifer's for that matter. See if I can get it in there. But these are great. However, I didn't throw fresh strings on, so these are a little dead. So I'm going to use this it's a very bright sounding pick, this V pick. Maybe to give some more clarity back in the sound. I use GHS 12 to 52 boomers. That was on the volume on 8, obviously doing a little volume swell there, but this would be kind of more of a typical rhythm volume for me if I'm doing something a little more rockin'. then full out on 10. We'll stay on the bridge pickup. Sometimes I'll roll the neck off to get that woman tone thing, so staying on the bridge pickup for like a rhythm, rolling it back to about 9, just so it takes off a little bit of that, top end. And loves that tone. And yeah, man, I mean, that's just how I run it. I've got a wah on the floor. Typically my go-to for the past couple of years has been my exotic wah. Absolutely love that thing. But I've used and abused it for a couple of years now, so I don't know if it's an impedance issue. I'm going to send it to my my amp guy. As you guys may notice, well, you're not facing my workbench, but I do guitar work now. So there's certain things I'm comfortable working on, but as far as pedals and amps go, I'll still send it to somebody else. But that being said, there's just I think it's an impedance thing. Like I click on that wah, my exotic wah, and I just hear a volume drop. Even with like a fresh battery, I still am adamant about using carbon zinc batteries for wahs or fuzzes. If I ever do decide to use pedals, it's just a clearer sound. It's not as harsh. Even a sound engineer that we work with pretty often made a comment saying like, yeah man, like I normally have to like take out all these highs whenever someone clicks out their wah, but yours has this really nice mellow sound to it, and that, my friend, is because of the carbon zinc battery. I have unfortunately gone crazy enough to being able to hear the difference in brands. Will I allow that to affect my ability to play the wah? No, but I can hear the difference, and I'm sure if you A-beat it, you could too. But nonetheless, that one is retired at the moment in this closet, so I'm going to send it to my guy, see if he can fix it for me. So for the time being, for the past like month or so, I've been using the Leo Nocentelli Signature Crybaby. And that thing's phenomenal. I gotta say, and I'm not mad about it, it is a very close resemblance to, I had a Joe Bonamassa wah back in the day, and it reminds me a lot of that one. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just painted that one a different color and put Leo's name on it. But like I said, I'm not mad about it. It sounds good. It's different, but it sounds good. Especially for the meters stuff. Like, obviously I don't have it plugged in right now, but it just comes to life, honestly, as soon as you do that stuff. And I love adding it for quirky moments where I just, want to add a little something different. But that's how I run it. I am also a strong advocate for, guys, listen, we got to start taking care of our amps, whether you're cranking them or not. You will prolong the life of your tubes if you just start putting a fan inside or behind your amp and pointing it at your tubes throughout the course of a gig. Before I started doing that, I was having to change tubes maybe 3 or 4 times a year. Now it's only twice a year, really, per amp that I have to change power tubes. Granted, I am playing very often, so I think that's another proponent, obviously, in how much I have to change my tubes, but makes a huge difference. Get yourself a cheap little Amazon fan, a clip-on fan, or whatever is easy and convenient to carry around. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I forgot. I'll include links for all the stuff that I mentioned, Pro Juniors, Mojotone Cab Conversions, the ceramic speaker, the Alnico speaker, my Anatomy of Sound picks, my Alembic Stratoblaster, the backbone. A lot of people give these things, I don't know, it's hit or miss. Like, people either live and die by them, or they say, that was just a waste of money. I can hear a difference with these things. Maybe with the Strat one, it's not as, I mean, don't get me wrong, you still hear a difference, but this one is just undeniable. Like, you throw this on a Tele or a hardtail Strat, and the notes just ring forever. I've never toyed with the interchangeable tone blocks that they offer, so I've always stuck with the brass. So, I don't know. Backbone, if you want to throw me some stuff to try out, make some videos, I would not be opposed. But yeah, that's my rig right now. I'm really happy with it. It's been such a journey, closing in on, my sound, my guitar. I started off as a Strat guy, about 10 years ago. Tried to get away from it for obvious reasons. Everyone, saying I sound like Stevie or Jimmy, and wanting to sound like myself. Played some various Gibsons over the years, and through those years kind of just developed my own playing style. Was comfortable enough to, go back to playing a Strat, because I sat down with one for the first time in like 5 or 6 years. It was like, man, this is the sound that I'm trying to get out of every other guitar I've ever played. Why did I ever stop playing a Strat? And even my Tele that I mentioned in my last video, don't get me wrong, I still love that thing, but it's not a Strat. And I bought it to have something different, but, I bring it to a gig and I maybe only play like 2 or 3 songs before I switch back to this, because I just want that sound and that feel, the contours, the 5-way. But yeah, I'm really grateful and really happy to have come to this conclusion. I'm stoked to get this new Warmth body. Tomorrow, actually, it should be arriving in the mail, so I'll make a video as soon as that's slapped together. I'm going to be throwing this neck on it. This is a Warmth neck. Roasted maple, stainless steel frets, 6100 frets, big jumbo guys. I've been playing this for somewhere between 6 months to a year now, and there's still like no sign of fret wear. So whether it's a tone thing or not, I've never A-beat it, but I'm going to advocate for stainless steel frets because of how much I bend. It's just a necessity. I've got the staggered tuners on here, so there's no use for the string tree. When I gave it to my old guy, he put the string tree on there without my permission, basically, so I was a little bummed that now I have to live with that kind of hole right there, but it is what it is. It does have a beautiful, I don't even know if you can see it on the camera, but it has this beautiful flame on kind of just the side of the neck, so it's kind of like a little secret that I just get to look at, because this is a one-piece maple neck. Black fret marks, but I've got white side dots, which make a huge, huge difference. When you're playing on dark stages with stage lights, sometimes your frets just disappear when you're on stage. And that's been awesome. That's saved my life a couple times. The Yosemite pickups, as I've mentioned before, it wasn't a tonal thing. I needed flat pole piece pickups because this is a 10 to 16 radius fretboard. So the staggered thing, I could hear how staggered the pickups were, and I needed something flat. So Yosemite pickups, sound phenomenal. I believe they're like the most affordable pickups that you can get on Fender's website right now, so I'll add a link to that too. I think that they're higher output than my old Texas Specials too, believe it or not, because at the time I was like, do I want some Texas Specials? Because I loved those. But these are higher output. So, and they're relatively quiet. You know, I don't know if that has a lot to do with the shielding paint that's, you know, under the hood here. But this thing's freaking awesome. Forgive me if earlier in the video you heard some scratchy pot stuff. You know, I don't know if you can tell, but this thing's nasty. I don't clean my guitars. I'm one of those guys. And I've just been putting off cleaning it because I know I'm getting that new body soon and got a new wiring kit for it, fresh pickups. I'm going to toy with the Stratoblaster, see if I like it or not. If not, I'll just throw the old, you know, normal input jack on there. And that's it. Oh, actually, now that I'm looking at it, in order to fit my Alnico speaker, I had to remove the bell. And the tube cages, for that matter. I'm honestly convinced that Fender only started putting these in their amps because people started stealing tubes out of amps at music stores in recent years. So I have no use for it. It's just another thing in the cabinet to rattle. So yeah, took out the tube cage, took out the bell, fits perfect. And I'm just super happy with it. Obviously, you know, a Bassman or a Super Reverb, there's nothing that can match that in clarity and just air, you know, nothing can replace air. But, you know, I don't want to tear anyone's heads off if I'm playing indoors, so it's a pretty good tone, you tell me. It's been fun. Like I said in the last video, haha. But you know, I'm gonna try and pump out some more content. It's been cool getting to know some of you guys online, and happy to answer questions. Obviously, if you can't tell by now, I am such a geek when it comes to this stuff. And it's all out of practicality, you know. I've just there's the sounds that I love and the sounds that I've chased, and then just the stuff that comes along with playing gigs, cracking down on what I need, you know, for the job. These are tools for me, so you know I gotta have a good toolkit to get the job done. That was probably the corniest way I could close out this video, but cheers guys. I'll see you around.